Emerging out of prehistory, legend, and mystery, the Gojosen arose as a confederate kingdom on the Korean peninsula. They would battle the kingdom of Yan, and in times of peace, there would be major trade and cultural exchange between the two kingdoms. During the Han Dynasty, a major military campaign would be launched into the Korean peninsula that would initiate the demise of the Gojosen. A myriad of smaller kingdoms would form afterwards. Out of these, a few powerful kingdoms would arise to dominate the peninsula for centuries. Goguryeo was under constant threat from invading Chinese dynasties from the west, and nomadic tribes from the north. Consequently, these tough mountain warriors would incorporate elements of both Chinese and nomadic warfare into their formidable armies. They defeated the Jin dynasty, driving them out of the Liaodong Peninsula in the west, and expanded far to the north. They were the first to consolidate power, forming a larger state, in what would be called the Three Kingdoms period. Goguryeo would be strong enough to repel several invasions from multiple Chinese dynasties. During this period, their ruling class built many impressive pyramids over their tombs. In the southeast, the kingdom of Shilla was ruled by the Kim clan for most of its nearly 1,000-year history. Shilla had long trade routes and diplomatic relations, reaching all the way to Persia, whom they had continuous relations with for centuries, and later with the Arab nations as well. As well as with other Korean kingdoms of this period, the Shilla had a very high level of gender equality within many areas of society, and was ruled by 3 queens throughout its history. The western part of the peninsula was controlled by the kingdom of Baekje, which boasted the most fertile rice-growing plains in the Korean peninsula, which enabled a very large population. The Koea Confederacy of city-states managed to stay independent for hundreds of years, through shrewd diplomacy and a formidable army. This came to an end in 532, when the rulers of Koea were absorbed into Shilla's aristocracy. The 3 kingdoms did not peacefully coexist, and instead attacked each other frequently, alone or in alliance. In 660, Shilla allied with Tang to conquer Baekje, and in 668, Tang and Shilla defeated Goguryeo, creating the period of unified Shilla. In 698, the Tang were defeated by the Pave, a multi-ethnic group comprised of refugees from the Goguryeo, whom recruited disgruntled Chinese northern subjects and various northern tribes to their cause. In 892, the kingdom of Shilla would fracture, and the old kingdoms of Baekje and Goguryeo made a comeback in what is known as the later Three Kingdoms period. The kingdom of Goguryeo would unite the kingdoms. Goguryeo is the basis of the modern exonym Korea. Goguryeo subsequently maintained an unbroken dynasty that ruled Korea for 474 years, with interruption of 100, where military dictators held political sway over the kings. This came to an end with the Mongol invasion of Goguryeo. They became a semi-autonomous vassal state, and compulsory ally of the Mongol Yuan dynasty for about 80 years. The exhausted Goguryeo dynasty would be overthrown by one of its own generals, shortly after the end of Mongol influence over the peninsula, establishing the Joseon dynasty. A pivotal point during the more than 500-year reign of the Joseon dynasty was the Japanese invasions of the Korean peninsula, which was in no small measure thwarted by the genius of one man, Admiral Yi, who would remain undefeated at sea during the invasions and is considered one of the greatest admirals in world history. In 1897, the kingdom of Joseon became the Empire of Korea, and the Joseon king became emperor. This period was extremely short-lived, and in 1905, the Empire of Korea would become a protectorate of the Empire of Japan, and in 1910, it was fully annexed by Japan. Japanese occupation would last till the end of the Second World War, and in its aftermath, Korea would become the battleground in a proxy war between the United States and Communist China, which ended in stalemate, and the peninsula split between North and South. I hope you have enjoyed this lightning-fast compression of Korean history. I tried my best with the pronunciations, and hope I did alright with that. Big thanks to all my patrons and followers, you guys are awesome, and don't forget to smash the like button, hit the subscribe, and ring the bell icon to get notifications every time I make a new video. And let me know what you liked, didn't like down in the comments. I always enjoy hearing what you guys have to say. This has been Epimetheus.